One of the big takeaways for today is to understand really the dimensions of these 6 strategic initiatives that were launched. Remember, we had 4 pillars that we based these on: innovation, preparation, leadership, and integrity. And out under the innovation umbrella came these signature programs. And these signature programs, all innovative, also had elements of leadership in them and spoke to preparation and spoke to integrity. The first 3 that we're going to talk about today, the Parish Profile, Parish Leads, and Parish STEM, were defined by us as innovative because they were comprehensive and embedded, right? So a lot of times when people hear about our signature programs, the Academy of Global Studies, for example, Parish Virtual, they say, wow, they just really work with the upper school kids, right? That's a big misnomer that I think we're continuing to try to educate you about so that you can educate others, right? These 3 that I'm going to start with, and especially the Parish Profile, we define as innovative because they touch every student, right? And this first one is most important because it touches every classroom. And we're going to show you today how that's beginning to happen, and as we look ahead, how we think it's going to happen even more. I'm going to hand out some placemats here, which I'll ask you to leave behind when we're done. They're just really to help you kind of follow along. So if you'll take one and share it with your neighbor, it'll help you as we go through this exercise. When we talked about the P in preparation as one of those linchpins of this strategic vision, we were really talking about redefining the college preparatory independent school experience, right? You all know the equation. You're prepared if you get into the college that I want you to get into, right? For many, that's how they equate preparation, right? You are prepared if you've taken this many AP classes. You are prepared if you have this SAT score. You are prepared if you have AP scores of this number, right? We accept that to a degree at Parish. Those things matter to us. We're not devoid of interest in those types of outcomes. But we really wanted to elevate the discussion of what the 21st century kid in the globally interdependent and complex world, what skills those students needed to have command of, right? So we said kids need to be able to communicate. They need to be able to collaborate. They need to be able to create. They need to be able to think critically. And then we enumerated those into 10 practices. And that's what you have here in the placemat. You need to be looking at the brain side. If you're looking at the Parish Lead side, flip it over, right? And these practices, if you look at them, these are do things, right? These are not things you consume. These are things you have to evidence and perform and manifest and demonstrate, show. So we talk a lot here at Parish about kids that are producing, not consuming, kids that are doing, not just being. And that is really a descriptor for what our classroom should look like. That is the teaching modality that we're trying very hard to move our faculty toward. And we've set up an infrastructure to do that, right? So we have a provost, Michelle Lyon, right? She's the sergeant, right? She's got some lieutenant colonels, right? Mark Addington is the dean in the upper school. Megan Whitman is the assistant head of middle school for academics. In lower school, Melissa Grabsky is the assistant head of lower school for academics. In pre-K and K, Miriam Graham has the role of coordinating the implementation of these practices and coordinating that. They work very tightly and very closely together. And as you can see on the screen, through professional development goals that were set this past August, reflection that's going on through divisional meetings, and the design this past year of the My Panther e-portfolio, which I'm going to share with you in just a moment, we are creating a mentality and an understanding and a common language around this framework. And then we've created a repository to place student work there that says to you at the end of the day, check SAT score, check AP classes, check college preparation, right? But take a look actually at how these practices of definitive preparation have been evidenced in your child's journey through the Parish experience. So it's fine for me to talk about it in theoretical terms, but what I want to do today is actually take you through some examples of student work and start in 2nd grade, move you to 4th grade, take you to 7th grade, 10th grade, and finish in the high school, right? So I can show you how it moves across the spectrum. But I want to start just showing you the My Panther digital portfolio, which lower school parents will see at conferences next month, and that the middle school community is going to be introduced to starting next year. Lucy Hennard, who's our director of lower school instructional, she's our lower school instructional technology specialist, and Dolores Gende, who's our director of instructional technology, spent last summer moving from the concept of what we wanted in this My Panther e-portfolio to actually putting it into practice. If you were at the Looking Ahead session last year, I showed you a framework, a template, right? I said this is generally where we're heading. Well, over the last year, our faculty and those faculty leaders have worked really hard to populate it. So this is what you'll see is the general overview of the MyPanther digital portfolio. I'm going to take you to second grade today just so I can show you Anne-Marie's work. But what you'll notice here is each student has had a profile space created for them. All right, the adults have done this and opened up the MyPanther digital space to each child. And we'll go down and we're going to take a look at a piece of work today that's been stored here. But what you'll see on the intro page as you come in is this descriptor that I've just laid out for you, right? You know, that effectively all independent schools across the country, all 1,200 of us in the National Association of Independent Schools, are college preparatory, right? By nature, right? What we're doing here is redefining what exactly that means in terms of preparation. We're going to a more nuanced and elevated description of what that is, and we're going to capture it here within this portfolio. And again, you see those very elements of preparation listed in the 4 C's, right? Now on this site, Anne-Marie and eventually all students will have a place to introduce themselves. And the lower school kids are using avatars. That's really for a degree of anonymity. You know, as kids get older, that picture will become theirs, right? And this really, you can think about it as a digital footprint. It's a digital resume. It's a digital presence. You know, I think in 5 to 10 years from now, paper resumes are going to be old hat, right? People are going to have digital profiles. They're going to have digital spaces that identify who they are and how they differentiate themselves. And ultimately, and eventually, we won't look at them in depth today, but these spaces here will be populated. So looking ahead, a student in middle and upper school will begin to throw into this space what they do on campus that defines them. What they do off campus that defines them. Could be scouts, right? It could be what they're doing in church leadership and experiential trips. On campus, it could be that they are a member of a particular society or have chaired or captained a team or a program, right? And they'll have that all here within their MyPanther portfolio.